At 5, some big revelations today on day one of the trial of the state of Oregon versus the Trump administration.
A federal judge will decide if the president had the legal authority to deploy the National Guard to Portland back in September. We learned that National Guard troops actually did deploy to the ICE building in the South Waterfront and spent some time overnight there in early October, hours after a judge issued a temporary restraining order blocking such a deployment.
On the witness stand today, a Portland police commander also called the use of force by federal agents, quote, startling, and said their use of tear gas and other munitions on protesters was unjustified. Fox 12's Spencer Schott joins us now live outside the courthouse with more new information that came out of the hearing today. Spencer?
Yeah, Nora, Pete, they just went into recess for the end of the day, so they are done with witness testimonies for the first day of the trial. They'll be back tomorrow morning. But the first witness called by the plaintiffs in this case, which is the state of Oregon and the city of Portland, was a commander for the Portland Police Bureau. PPB Commander Franz Schoening testimony really revolved around the excessive use of force he has seen federal agents use against protesters outside the ICE facility. Schoening has been with PPB since 2008 and was a part of their rapid response team. He teaches trainings on public order during large events and is the incident commander for PPB's crowd control team. He says there have been multiple moments where he would say federal agents were using excessive amounts of force. For example, he testified, "I saw federal officers negligently discharge a 40-millimeter launcher. It appeared that the use of force was initiated by FPS's own actions." He went on to say, "We simply have not seen any criminal conduct that could explain the use of force that was going on." The commander went on to say during his testimony that there were multiple instances where the feds would call for backup from PPB, saying that they are being barricaded inside the ICE facility on the South Waterfront and that protesters were lighting fires in the streets. But when PPB showed up to assist, there were no fires and there were no barricading situations. So it really highlights the different stories we are hearing from the federal agents versus the local law enforcement officers who are responding to these situations. And then on cross-examination, when the federal attorneys were able to cross-examine the commander, they really focused on the sanctuary city laws for Portland and the sanctuary state laws for Oregon that really prevent local law enforcement from acting when it comes to immigration control or immigration efforts here in Portland. One of the questions that the federal attorney asked the commander was if there were protesters blocking the ICE facility, would PPB step in to help clear those protesters? And the commander said no, that would be a job for FPS because that would be aiding in immigration enforcement. So the picture that the federal government was really trying to paint with this cross-examination was that PPB was not doing enough. Therefore, the National Guard was needed here in Portland. Now, throughout the afternoon, we did get a couple more witnesses called to the stand, including an Oregon State Patrol officer who really laid out a timeline of when Oregon State Patrol was called to assist at the federal building. They were called multiple times in June, but then not called at all in July, August, or even in September when President Trump called for the National Guard to be sent out to Portland. Now, this trial is expected to go for 3 days, and we'll continue to update you both on air and online through the Fox 12 app and Fox 12 Plus. But for now, we'll send it back to the studio. Reporting live in downtown Portland, Spencer Schott, Fox 12 Oregon.